Cool. Hey guys, my name is Azad, and today I'm gonna go through UI part of automation. It's basically like one of the parts that Denis mentioned in his presentation. So today I will mostly like focusing on web UI automation and mobile UI automation. It won't be like too technical. I will just like show you like overview and just a small video demos and all of the stuff. And after that, you can like ask me question as well. Okay, let's go. So who I am? Currently, I'm a lead SDT and Try Market. Like, I'm not sure if you've heard about this company. It's basically selling all the organic food online and just like trying to promote like healthy living lifestyle. And before Try Market, I work in a beach body, and another company is called Touch Commerce. It's like now acquired by nuance, and yeah, that's it. Let's go next. So what's the GUI testing in general? So basically GUI, it's a graphic user interface. And like if you open website or if you open like mobile application, all the UI elements like part of a full like GUI system. And when we say like we're testing GUI, we just test, it's mean like we're testing as a black box testers, just the UI elements. We don't go like deeper in the backend side. It's just like a visual stuff. So this is a list of tools that I'm going to overview today. Like I will start with Selenium as a web automation tool, and then we go to mobile. I will include Appium, XCUITEST, and Espresso. Okay, let's go. So first one is the web. So like I'm sure like many of you guys heard about Selenium or Selenium WebDriver, but like not many people knows what it is actually. So Selenium, it's a free open source automation testing tool, which helps like testers to automate their web applications. So it supports like actual visual browsers, and also it supports like headless browser as well. So I think nowadays Selenium it's like one of the major web application tool. Like I don't know like any other tool that like people use for web automation. I think it's pretty much like W3C standard for web automation. And biggest advantage of Selenium is it supports almost like most popular programming languages. Like it supports Python, Java, Ruby, JavaScript. Let's say like if you're trying to start to automate in Selenium, you can just like pick your favorite language, and most probably Selenium will support it, and it will be easier for you to get started. So, and what actually Selenium is doing? Like Selenium, it's imitating human gestures. It's trying to behave the same as the user behaves in a website. So it's like, let's say it can go to any website. It can emulate your mouse. It can hover the elements, click to the elements, right click to the elements, and all this stuff. And also it's emulating the keyboard as well. Like it can type, it can press like let's say like enter button, like space button, delete button, and so on. In more advanced level, it can also like run some JavaScript code within the browser. Let's say like if you want to cheat sometimes like in your automation, and you want to retrieve some kind of like JavaScript variables, which like doesn't show for user, but let's say you're testing some analytic stuff. You can just run a JavaScript and just to make sure your JavaScript variable is present on the website. So here I have a small demo just to show you how it all looks. Let me find the mouse here. This is weird. Yeah.
Well, no demo then.
Yeah, no demo. Yeah, we can try like to show after, but basically what it's doing, it's opening the browser. It will go to like all the different websites. It will like scroll, click into the elements, typing, like all of the stuff. Yeah. So sad I cannot show it, but I can like share after. Cool, and let's go to the mobile part, and which is like more exciting. And currently I'm mostly working with mobile, Android and iOS, and I feel like for me, like personal perspective, it's like more interesting and exciting because there's like a lot of fun stuff to do with mobile applications. Cool, so it's doing the same thing. Like mobile automation, it's imitating human gestures, but because in a mobile, gestures is different, like instead of clicking, you're just like typing to the elements. Instead of like scrolling, you're also like scrolling, but with your fingers. And also like typing something, swiping, and all basic human gestures. Cool, and so what's the Appium? You probably like, if you heard about mobile automation, you probably heard about Appium as well. So Appium is an open source test automation framework. You can use Appium to test like a native application, hybrid applications, and also web applications. If you don't know the difference, like native application, it's like application that built like specifically for this iOS version. Let's say like that may be iOS native application, Android native application. Web application is basically just the web version of the website in the app, in the mobile, sorry. And the hybrid, it's both, like some parts of the application may be native, some part may be like written in web. And I have Appium demo, which like I cannot show you, but basically what I did here, I use my personal device to record the video. It will open the app. It will perform some of the human gestures like scrolling, typing to the elements, and all of this fun stuff. So it's, yeah, I cannot show, unfortunately.
Do you have maybe a link for YouTube or something like that?
Let me see.
Actually, that should be. Oh, you mean actually just a right click and open in Drive?
Yeah.
Like that.
Okay, guys, let me finish that, and after that, I will probably like try to search for it because I'm scared to mess everything up here because it's so fragile. Yeah, so different type of tools that you can use for mobile automation. It's XCUITEST and Espresso. So what's the XCUITEST? XCUITEST, it's a native iOS framework. It's developed by Apple, and it supports two programming languages. First one is Swift, and second is Objective-C. Espresso, it's like native Android testing framework. Is developed by Google, and it supports Kotlin programming language and Java. So there's a lot of discussions which approach to use. Like, let's say in Appium, you can use Appium for iOS and Android testing, but if you want to choose, like if you let's say if you're in your company, you have only iOS app, right? And you want to use like native like UI automation tool, maybe it will be easier for you to go with XCUITEST. The same for Android. So some of the advantage of the Appium is the first one. Appium is using the WebDriver protocol. Let's say if you have experience to write your web test in Selenium, this will be like relatively easy for you to switch to the Appium after that, because like it's used the same, pretty much the same API, the same protocols. It's really similar. And also Selenium, it supports different languages. Like you can choose like any of your favorite language, like Java, Python, I don't know, PHP, JavaScript, like, and so on. And also Appium is can use XCUITEST and Espresso drivers. So it's kind of like a third-party application which translates your like Appium code and execute it in XCUI driver or Espresso driver. So you're basically like using the same drivers in your test. Okay, some of the advantage for XCUITEST and Espresso. So first of all, like they're native frameworks, like they developed by Apple and Google. That's why they have like better support from these like huge companies, because Appium is open source and it's mostly contributed by the like people like us who just like seeing bugs and committing And XCUITEST and Espresso is like more giant companies support. Also, the second advantage is when you will write your test, you can use the same language as your application is written. Like, let's say if you have iOS app and it's written in Swift, you can use Swift also to write your UI test. And it will be easier for your developers because they will like understand how it all works, and they can help you to set it up, and they also can help you to like support your test. And most probably it will be like stored in the same repository, so this will be like easier. And the third one is like usually like there are no compatibility issues, because the biggest problem Appium has right now, like after, if you're using like Xcode and you're updating to the new version, most probably all your tests will fail until Appium team will submit a fix for a new version of Xcode. And like obviously like XCUITEST and Espresso doesn't have that problem, because like Apple and Google know like, hey, we're updating the system. We need to test like all the previous implementation compatible with a new version of Xcode. Let's go next. And yeah, just a few tips from me how to get started in automation. Like let's say if you're like a manual tester, right? And you want to give like a more advanced level of testing. Like first of all, I can tell you just forget about record and playback. Like nobody uses it anymore. Like it's like nobody will take you seriously if you say like I automated something. I use like record and playback. Like you just, I mean, you can play with that, but don't take it seriously. Second point is like because you cannot use record and playback, you need to know how to code. Like you need to be, you should not be afraid of like coding part of it. I mean, again, like as I said, like Appium or Selenium like supports most of the programming languages. You can like pick any simple language like Python or like JavaScript, which will be easier for you to get started. And based on that, just to try to write like simple Selenium stuff and so on. Because like using Selenium, you can just try to automate your like daily routine. Like let's say I knew a guy who like a couple years ago just using Selenium automated his, he was like selling his car in Craigslist, and he wrote a script in Selenium just to post his advertisement like after each 3 hours. And it was like amazing. And like, yeah, it was, yeah, it was really nice. It was really nice. I mean, yeah, just like daily routine, like just to get started, to get comfortable, and you will like learn more and more and more, and it will be like easier for you. So keep practice, like, yeah, like maybe like every day if you have time, just like trying to improve like your skills, and ask advices from like more senior people, and yeah, and don't be afraid to start.
Oh, sorry. So what I've done, doing pretty much the same. I've automated my insurance company, so it pulls the list of the like dentist within the zip code, and then compares them on the Yelp, like which one has better ratings.
Oh, nice.
so I get the best dentist possible.
Maybe I can use your tool too. Cool, guys. And the last slide is like how to become automation QA engineer. I mean, there's only like 2 ways. I know like the first one, you can like join any bootcamps, which like train QA automation engineers. Like usually it takes like 3 or 6 months to be like more like professional in this field. And it usually costs like a lot of money. Like it may start with like $6,000, and like there's like basically no limit. It depends like of their program, how they teach, and all of the stuff. Or you can like start online just by yourself. Like I started my career as a manual QA too. Like my first job was like part-time job in a like small startup company, and I just like start to learn by myself. And I know like all the struggles because I don't have a computer science degree. I know how afraid I was like in the beginning, but then I start to practice, I start to learn, I start to like, you know, like to be out of my comfort zone, and like little by little, step by step, like I'm like, yeah, I just like here. Cool, that's it from me. Do you guys like want to ask me any questions, like anything? Yeah. Yeah, it's a good question. The question was that, yeah, the question was like many users don't use a headless browsers. Like, why would I use headless browser in my automation tab? Let's take Chrome, right? Chrome has headless implementation, and what their developers say, like it behaves the same, like it's usually the same, but it's just a headless. The main advantage of the headless browsers, they have better performance. You don't have to open UI, and that's why it usually runs faster. And because of that, many people choose a headless browser. Because of the performance, yeah.
Any other questions? All right, thank you very much, Azad. That was pretty much awesome.